Certainly not a new issue. Kids start at one high school, often end up at another. In some cases, those same kids end up at another school after that. Recently, we've seen what appears to be an uptick in athletic-related transfers. This is Jerry SCHNIEPP, the commissioner of the San Diego section, explaining the current transfer rule.
The current rule is if you move into an area, you're likely going to be eligible. If there's a hardship that qualifies under our standard, you're likely to be eligible. Or you're eligible for the sit-out period, so you sit out for a period of time and then you're eligible. I say likely because there are some things that play into our rule as well that relate to following a club coach, and it's called our bylaw 510.
All right. So I'd like to welcome our second panel in studio. To my immediate left, Lincoln High head coach David Dunn, no stranger to KUSI. A newcomer to San Diego is San Marcos head coach Stank, who is now the head coach of the Knights, and HILLTOP's Drew Westling outside row one. Gentlemen, let me allow the same preamble. Thank you very much for doing this. You can watch us on KUSI PPR and all our social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and of course on KUSI.com. Let's start with, you're kind of at the center of the storm. Lincoln High, I thought it was a big, interesting story. 3 kids from 3 different schools decided they wanted to, went on social media and said they're going to come play for you. It became a big deal. Why?
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. Everyone doesn't really understand that Lincoln they average 8 to 12 transfers every year. It's been that way over the past 10 years. Just because 3 more kids choose to transfer in, from outside of the immediate inner city, outside this North County, it becomes a big deal.
I guess we're used to seeing kids leave you. So when kids are coming in, and some transfers get approved and some others don't, and I think Jerry SCHNIEPP was explaining the bylaws and undue influence, but that's where it gets messy, is when some kids seemingly can go wherever they want, other kids can't. Can you speak to that? Is there consistency in the rulings?
There's definitely no consistency. I haven't seen a platform like this about any transfers. Like I said, we have 8 to 10 every year. I have so many kids that leave my area that plays in the county for so many other prominent teams, and they're doing so well. And I have to watch them every week. And as soon as we get kids want to transfer in, it becomes, I mean, Twitter's going crazy. Everybody's going crazy.
All right, Derek, you're an outsider. You come to us from New Hampshire, where I'm guessing the transfer thing is not as big a deal. Am I guessing right? Or how do you handle it in New Hampshire? How did they handle it in New Hampshire?
Well, there's definitely transfers that are happening. There's a handful of private schools, some Christian schools, where you have to compete to make sure kids stay in your spot. But really, for me personally, the idea of holding on to transfers is just about developing a good program, a good culture, a good community, a support system, a family network, ultimately a football family that is going to want to keep those kids there. If they want to go somewhere else, then that's going to be their decision to make.
So, I mean, you found yourself right in the center of it. You had a quarterback come out unexpectedly, you had a quarterback leave unexpectedly. Your reaction to all that is just build a culture, not worry about it?
Well, for me personally, I'm 3 weeks into this job. So, my social network around here is very limited. I'm going to do whatever I need to do with the kids that are in my program. I'm going to work them hard. We're going to learn how to be a family together. And by doing so, we're going to develop a culture and a community that they're not going to want to leave, hopefully. And if they do, then that's a decision that they make.
Drew, you're the last of the Mohicans, in that you have a team made up of neighborhood kids. Am I
Absolutely, definitely.
In this, are you afraid that is going to change? Anytime you get a good kid, they're going to leave, and that this is the Eddie Haskell, Leave It to Beaver era of high school football is over?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I'm like Coach Stank and Coach Dunn, where we're so busy with our own programs and trying to work with the kids we have and take care of the 10,000 things that come up as a head football coach that I'm not worried about the unknowns. I have a lot of knowns that I have to worry about, and I have to worry about them yesterday. So, my focus is doing the best I can for the kids there at HILLTOP. Kids come in, there are kids. If kids leave, there's still kids that are going somewhere else, and God bless them. Wish them the best of luck.
All right, so it comes back to you, Coach Dunn. We had BURT GROSSMAN on yesterday. He talked about your situation specifically. Take a listen. I want you to react to it.
You get Lincoln and you get San Diego High, that you all of a sudden see they're actually winning state championships, CIF championships, or sending 10, 11, 12 kids to college every year now. That never happened before, and that doesn't even happen at the good schools. Kids have been getting stolen out of the Southeast forever and going to, whether it's Saints, Cathedral, anywhere. That's not happening anymore because it's just a good option in your own home school, and that's good. That's good for the community. It's not just good for football.
Isn't that the better story? The kids want to come to a section of town that always left. You've already hinted on. Isn't it a bigger story that you have these 3 kids coming from 3 different places that suddenly Lincoln is a cool place to play and go to school?
Yes, indeed. It's always been a cool place. The thing is that people really never gave it a chance. Everyone is recruited out of my area, and I'll say that very loosely. Everyone's taken out of my area. They've always been offered a better opportunity or a better educational opportunity to come out of my community.
So is there a racial component to this? I mean,
I would say there's probably 11 kids that showed up here at Lincoln. I'm only hearing about 3. And the 3 are non-minorities. So, yeah, that's a problem.
All right. Derek, we had John KENTERA, who you'll meet soon enough. He's a radio icon talking about this issue, and he brought up an interesting point. I want you to react to it. This is John KENTERA.
Well, you have 7-on-7, and that's just in football. We could talk about the other sports, the travel sports where kids get to know one another. And I will just say this, the grass isn't always greener. You may go to a ball club that's loaded, and you may not get the opportunities you're going to think you're going to get that if you'd have stayed at your original school.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, you could say the grass isn't always going to be greener to those individuals. For me, personally, once again, it comes back to the fact that, I know what I have to offer. I know, like Coach said, this is what we're going to do here. If someone else wants to do something different, they're welcome to do so. And if someone else from outside wants to join, they're welcome to do so. But no part of me is going out on 7-on-7 and trying to bring another kid into to our program.
I guess the way I see this going, guys, is it seems to be flowing to an open borders, open enrollment type deal. Is it going to be like the NBA where you're going to start building super teams? Is that not the fear? That someone, every time you get a stud player, he's going to go somewhere else?
I think my focus will be don't give him a reason to leave. Make this thing as good as possible. People talk about the grass is always greener. I don't really know that to be true because I'm busy watering my grass to make it as green as possible. That's my focus, and that might sound cheesy or a tagline or whatever, but I've got the hose and I'm getting to work.
All right, and you're also, how old are you?
I am 31.
So you're embracing the social media side of things, where some of the older guys are struggling with it. You seem to. Is that advantage Hilltop?
It's a tool. It's like anything else, and I don't think that people necessarily older people aren't. John McFadden, Ron Gladnick, they're probably going to be mad I call them old, but they're doing a heck of a job on social media. So anybody can do it. Anybody can use it. There's all sorts of tools out there. And I'm getting a little bit frustrated with this idea that 7-on-7 is a bad or a good thing. It's a tool. It's a great opportunity. People talk about, hey, shouldn't kids be doing multi-sports? Yeah, but if you're not a multi-sport guy, it's something to do where you're not out doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
Guys, we have a minute left, and this will probably be our last topic, so I want you to react to this. This is from we took questions from outside folks, and this is a football coach up in the northern part of the state. D Spence 18 on Twitter, I believe. You can also discuss why administrations are hiring less on-campus coaches, which is a huge problem. I'm betting you disagree with that assessment that it's a huge problem.
Oh, definitely disagree. Being an off-campus coach myself, I've been at Lincoln for 12 years. The amount of time that's put in with these kids on a daily basis, it's just like you're an on-campus coach. What's required of you. So for them to say that an off-campus coach is any different, besides not teaching the class, there isn't really much difference.
All right, we have to pay homage to the Game of Thrones. It's a big show on HBO. I'm going to make you each king for a day. You get to be a prince because of your age. You've got 10 seconds. The transfer rule, if you could wave your magic wand, what would you say?
Those are the powers to be. They're going to make those decisions. What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep watering my grass, right? And I'm going to focus on the kids in front of me.
All right. Compared to up in our problems worse than up in the north?
Absolutely not. I grew up in South Orange County and coached in that section, and that is a completely different beast. There's people that are making decisions that are what's best for the parents and the coaches to feel good, not what's best with the kids. I have not had that personal experience in this section to the degree at all.
You got 5 seconds.
If I was king for a day, I would have all of my potential linemen at Lincoln come out for the team.
And if I were king for a day, I would be invited to the media barbecue at Lincoln High School.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so we have this coming up tonight on the ASR. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. We'll have a bunch of high school stuff coming your way. We'll see you then. Right now, back to my esteemed colleagues on the news desk.